Yeah, well, back in 2012, Dairy NZ put together a range of numbers and publications showing that it's at least $1 billion to the New Zealand dairy industry, which is a very, obviously, round number, but a large number. And most of that is based on production and indirect health and animal losses. Obviously, since 2012, some things have changed in the industry. Cull cows are worth more money. Milk prices are on its way back up. But that is actually, in their own words, a very, very conservative cost. For an industry the size of ours, that's a massive cost. But probably more concerning is that the actual cost of prevention is minuscule. So if we're looking here on Andrew Parker's farm that we're on today, his average cost of prevention for milk fever is around $8 per cow. I think if you were to just call it a nice round $10, we're looking at the cost of milk fever in New Zealand prevention being only around $50 million with 5 million cows. So if you compare that to the total cost of at least $1 billion, not to mention issues involved with time and labour and of course welfare issues and lost genetic potential. Often it's our highest producing cows that are actually going to get milk fever because they've usually expended so much calcium and phosphorus in their lifetime, or they're about to produce so much milk and their calcium requirements greater. So, you know, it's something that we need to look at as using nutrition for prevention, not so much as just cheap as possible all the time. I think the other things that we've learnt today on the farm walk here at Andrew Parker's is that he pays attention to the nutrition of his cows 365 days a year. In New Zealand terms, he's a high production herd. He's going to average well over 500 milk solids this year. But his cows are still only giving their body weight. He has their total body weight at around 550 kilos, and that's what he aims to produce in milk. I think there's often the idea in New Zealand that if you shift from New Zealand average production up to, say, around that 100% body weight, that metabolic disease is part and parcel. While we see a lot of disease and infertility in herds overseas who are high production, to compare a cow producing her body weight milk solids in New Zealand with, say, America, where they're producing double, is not a very fair comparison. There should be no reason that cows get metabolic diseases, that cows are reasonably weak, that they have foot problems, that they have animal health diseases that are preventable in New Zealand. A cow producing a body weight in New Zealand should be a healthy cow, profitable cow, with very little intervention, and I think we've seen that here at Andrew's today. Here on Andrew Parker's farm today with the field day, we've seen how that he's utilised Transol and Lactosol as part of his 365-day nutritional approach to managing his cows. He has a conservative approach. His aim is to have the lowest health costs, quite high production and a good return per hectare. Transol has largely eliminated milk fever in this herd. I think in fact this year he only used 3 bags of calcium, and Lactosol has given his cows resilience to cope with issues that he's seen this year, such as the really wet weather. He's had an outbreak of salmonella. He's also had issues with soft feet like most herds have in the Waikato this year, but his cows are strong, resilient, they're healthy, and he's seen no drop in milk production during each of these challenges this spring. In fact, he's year on year, for the farm basis, he's over 13% up in milk production, and on a cow basis he's around 3 to 5% up, and the gap is widening. So I think we're seeing some very good results from his use of Transol and Lactosol.